You're not going to believe what just came out of Westminster. The Prime Minister is being accused of something so explosive, so corrupt, that it's shaking the foundations of British democracy, and the court is finally investigating. Is Keir Starmer using taxpayer money to silence critics inside his own party? Is this the moment everything finally unravels? If you're tired of being lied to, if you're sick of the games the elites play behind closed doors while we foot the bill, then make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. We break the stories they want buried. We speak the truths the BBC won't touch, and we won't stop until the rot is dragged into the daylight. This scandal didn't come out of nowhere. For months, whispers were growing in Whitehall. Whispers about backbench MPs suddenly going silent. Whispers about reporters who were working on Labour Party exposés, then dropping their investigations overnight. Whispers that began turning into questions. Why were vocal critics within Labour suddenly resigning without explanation? Why were grassroots whistleblowers receiving letters threatening legal action, letters paid for by government legal accounts? Then last Thursday, the first piece of evidence slipped through. A leaked email chain, verified by multiple sources, revealed a hidden meeting between a senior Treasury official, a Labour Party fixer, and Keir Starmer's private secretary. The subject line? Media Containment Budget Q2. Within the thread, the Prime Minister's team discussed allocating funds from a communications emergency fund to cover what one staffer described as strategic silence operations. The email included a list of journalists and MPs marked as priority neutralisation. One of those names, it turns out, had just resigned from a common select committee with no explanation. The question everyone is now asking is horrifying. Has Keir Starmer used taxpayer funds to buy silence, suppress dissent, and rig the national conversation? And more disturbingly, if this is true, how long has it been going on? Because this isn't just a case of political hush money. This is an abuse of power on a scale rarely seen in British politics, and the courts are no longer ignoring it. A formal investigation was launched late Friday after the Supreme Court received what it described as credible and extensive documentation from multiple former civil servants. A statement from the High Court confirmed that preliminary hearings will begin within days. What's even more damning is the trail of sudden resignations and mental health leaves that followed key moments in the Prime Minister's career. In the months leading up to the Labour leadership contest, 3 senior MPs who had publicly criticised Starmer's EU reversal vanished from the political spotlight, and all 3 later received undisclosed settlements, confirmed by internal party finance leaks. Were these MPs coerced into silence with funds that should have gone to our NHS, our schools, or our collapsing infrastructure? Even former Labour Party donors are now speaking out. One longtime financier, who requested anonymity, claimed that Starmer's team approached him in late 2023 asking for funds to be reimbursed for legal action against a rogue journalist, but when pressed, he found out the journalist had been investigating Rachel Reeves' offshore accounts. That financier has now submitted a sworn statement to the courts. Meanwhile, public trust continues to crumble. Polls released just this morning show that 61% of Britons believe there should be a criminal investigation into Labour's handling of public funds. And it's not just the public, insiders from the civil service are beginning to talk. A retired Cabinet Office administrator posted a thread overnight describing a culture of intimidation inside Downing Street, where speaking out meant losing everything. Another revealed that briefings were routinely wiped from internal logs after certain meetings, a practice she says became common only after Starmer took office. But perhaps the most chilling part of this entire story is the way the mainstream media is reacting. Or rather, not reacting. The BBC has not covered the story. Channel 4 has avoided it entirely. And ITV ran a 15-second mention buried in the middle of a late-night segment. Why? Why is one of the most serious accusations of abuse of public money being ignored by the very institutions that claim to hold power to account? Because the truth is, they're in on it. These networks have grown fat on government access, on funding deals, on proximity to influence. They won't bite the hand that feeds them, but we will. We're not here to protect the elite. We're here to expose them, and we'll keep doing it until justice is served. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister remains silent. No press conference, no rebuttal, not even a tweet, and every hour he stays silent, the storm grows. Richard Tice has already called for Starmer's immediate suspension pending investigation. Nigel Farage is demanding an emergency session in Parliament. And now even centrist voices, former Blairites, are breaking ranks and asking the same question: did we hand the country to a man who treats democracy like a chessboard? The timeline now matters. The court investigation will begin within the week, but insiders are warning that evidence could be tampered with or destroyed. Already, One of the whistleblowers has reported receiving anonymous threats. Another has gone off-grid. How deep does this conspiracy run? Is this just Starmer's doing, or is there a wider Labour machine orchestrating the silence? And what happens if the court finds him guilty? Could we see the first forced resignation of a British Prime Minister over corruption since the 19th century? Could criminal charges follow, or will the establishment close ranks to protect one of their own? One thing is clear, this is no longer about left or right. This is about power, and the abuse of it. It's about who gets to speak in this country, and who gets paid to shut up. If we allow this kind of behavior to go unpunished, what kind of democracy are we really living in? Every day this story is allowed to fade. Another piece of our democracy is chipped away, but you can help keep it alive. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, talk to your friends, ask questions, because silence, the kind you pay for with public money, is how tyranny starts. And it's time we make some noise.